The Nintendo 3DS has a lot of homebrew ports with varying degrees of quality, and while most probably know about the popular stuff, there's still a lot that falls under the radar. So in this video, we're gonna look at some homebrew ports that I recently discovered, and maybe, just maybe, you'll see something that you like. Now, as always, these ports are coming from places like UniversalDB and GitHub.com, so if you're interested in trying out any of these yourself, I'll include some links down in the description below. So first up is Sonic Unleashed on the 3DS, which is created by Innovative Development. This one is a fan-made project of the original game, and it's being made entirely from scratch. Now, with that said, it's probably important to note that this project is still in active development, and so far only a portion of the game is playable. Although with that in mind, even with this game being in a demo state, there's still a lot going on, and it shows how much potential this project has. As shown on the screen, you're seeing the currently playable areas, which are mostly polished and play pretty well. The graphics are fairly solid for the 3DS, the controls don't have any major problems, and if you move Sonic slow enough, he will do this. The game is still in its early stages, but has a lot to offer, and you can definitely tell this is a passion project with a lot of detail put into it. Even things like the custom 3DS logo for the game have been created, and it looks like a bunch of added settings are slowly going to make their way into the game. All around, this title is in a great state, and I have no doubt it will be a lot better in a few years to come. Undertale is up next, and it's one I always assumed was already ported onto the 3DS. I'm not a huge Undertale fan, although I have played through the game a few times and I always thought it was already ported onto the 3DS. Yet after doing a little bit of research, I quickly realized that currently there is only a demo of Undertale on the 3DS, and it's in a very early stage. Now this is because a game like Undertale created on Game Maker is very difficult to port over, and I'm not even sure you can do it. So people have been having to recreate the game from scratch, which is really time consuming. It seems like a lot of people start Undertale projects making them from scratch, then realize how much work it's going to take, and they quickly move on to something else. Which leaves this port we're looking at right now as the farthest I believe to ever come on the 3DS, and it does in fact work as you'd expect. Just about all of the game is basically missing. This port contains one enemy encounter and a little demo area, and that's it. The creator has been updating it somewhat recently as of the beginning of 2025, and currently it is in a pretty good state, but still needs most of the base game added to it. In terms of music and gameplay though, it does perform well, and I couldn't find any downsides when it came to that. Overall, I'm curious to see what the creator does end up doing with this port, as so far he's the farthest out of anyone, as the last Undertale port only had 2 playable rooms, so in comparison, this one isn't so bad. Also, there's a weird Spanish April Fool's update that the creator put out, and you can download that as well if you want, I guess. Super Mario Odyssey is another port I somehow just didn't know about, and it's a demake of the original game created by Team 8 Alpha. Now, like the last 2 games shown already, this one is another demo, and it's in a very early state. Currently, it's just the Cap Kingdom and the test map. The Cap Kingdom doesn't really have anything to do, it's really just an open concept. The test map, on the other hand, has a lot more to show off, even letting you use Cappy to take control of an enemy Goomba. It's clear to see that this demo does have potential, as a lot of the core mechanics are here, though it's probably good to note that this game is pretty much unplayable, as I can't move around without going flying into the sky and having to wait like 30 seconds until I fall back down again, only for it to happen again after a few more seconds. Not really sure what was causing that, but yeah, things like this really do show how early in the development this game is. I'm hopeful this project will get updated further, but as of the making of this video, the last update was back in February of 2024, and I'm not really sure if this game is going to see any more updates or improvements. Hopefully it does, but again, you never know. Fingers crossed. Balatro is a game I'm sure most are familiar familiar with at this point, and it's just recently in the last 2 months had a port released on the 3DS by this user here. Initial impressions of the port are that it's pretty static, but the core gameplay is all mostly here. It's another one of those games that is a proof of concept, but I personally think this demo is a big deal as it shows that this can definitely be remade on the 3DS. Right now it lets you play through 3 antes and it does have a working shop, just sometimes you have to hold down on a card a little longer than usual to buy it. Now, important to know is that most of the jokers in the shop don't currently work properly, so you're given 5 random jokers at the start of the game. Otherwise, not much else to say besides that the game does work, and while it's missing the animations and the fancy graphic effects, the core gameplay is here along with the music. Like all of the previous games shown so far in this video, this one is another demo that is in the process of being developed, so with that in mind, it's got a lot of bugs, but holds a lot of promise. Looking at how good the GBA port is, I'm sure with time this one on the 3DS will eventually catch up and will hopefully be on the same level. Duck Hunt 35th Anniversary is the last game on this list, and unlike other ones shown previously, is fully complete. It was made by Lappy and ported over by EFRG 12 onto the new Nintendo 3DS, and it's fully playable in all of its glory. You use the stylus to touch ducks on the bottom screen and shoot them, and yeah, that's really it. It's Duck Hunt through and through, which is never a bad thing, and you'll realize pretty quickly how easy Duck Hunt is when you've got a stylus and you can tap them at the flick of a wrist. For me personally, not having the light gun takes away a lot of the charm for this game, and that has nothing to do specifically with this port. That's just me. Nonetheless, it is a cool game to have, even if it's fairly small, so if you've ever had the deep desire to play some Duck Hunt on the go, well, now you can. And so there you have it. Those are some notable ports that I had the chance of trying just recently, and while most of them are very early in development, I'm looking forward to what's next. But hey, as always, I want to know what you think, because I'm sure I missed a bunch of 3DS ports that are probably a lot of fun and maybe more finished. So if you have any recommendations, please don't hesitate to leave them down in the comments so me and others can check them out. Also, I want to thank you for watching my video, and I'd like to wish you a happy Thanksgiving for whenever you do end up celebrating it. As always, it's been a pleasure. I will see you in the next one. Take care, take it easy.